Welcome back. Joining us this morning is healthy living advocate Mary Tocco. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Glad to be back.
So let's get started. We have a couple of questions here. First topic about genetic study and the cause of autism. And there's actually researchers at Harvard University and Children's Hospital of Boston will study autism and looking for a gene and the cause for autism. And as we've discussed in the past, you don't necessarily believe it's a gene. So what do you feel that this is this study valid? What will it find?
Well, unfortunately, all the money that the government has ever invested in has been study on genetic cause for autism. It is a fact that you cannot have a genetic epidemic. And when you look at the way the autism rates have skyrocketed in the last 15 to 20 years, it's very obvious that there is an environmental cause and that it's not just a gene. Now, we do know that some children have a sensitivity to the toxicity of vaccines. So if they're born that way and then they get a vaccination, it can definitely lead to the autism. Second, they just look at the genetics instead of looking closely at the child. When we began to examine these children through specific testing, we look at their gut, we look at their disconnect in the brain, their lack of eye connection, their lack of motor skills. When you begin to look really closely, you see that these children are affected by something. Something affected them. They weren't born this way. And that's why most parents say that their children regress. And I believe it goes right back again to the vaccine toxicity.
Now, what are some of the things the doctors need to look for when they actually give these children the vaccines?
Well, first of all, we don't test children before vaccinating them. I believe we have a whole subset group of children now who are born with, again, issues to begin with, because we have 3 generations of vaccine individuals. Mom got vaccines and grandmother probably got vaccines as well. Our children are being born with these issues already set up so that when they get their first vaccination, it begins the process. Unfortunately, there are no tests involved or set in place right now to check children before vaccinating. So they just give all the kids vaccines across the board, regardless of whether or not their immune system is sensitive or not.
Now, there is a new vaccine, a cervical vaccine, that I've been seeing lots of advertisements about. And there was actually a report that a 14-year-old died after receiving this vaccination. What do you have to say about that?
Well, this was a new vaccine, a cervical cancer vaccine by GlaxoSmithKline. And they're using it over in Europe, and our government hasn't yet approved it for safety. This young girl was 14, went to school, got the vaccination, and he died immediately. Of course, you can imagine what the school is going through, all of her friends. The parents are devastated. Now, what they did, the British government pulled that particular lot, but they're continuing to vaccinate. Even though a lot of the young girls are very, very concerned about getting the 2nd and 3rd jab. Again, I feel that these vaccinations carry so much risk. There's no guarantee that the cervical vaccine is going to stop you from getting cervical cancer. My biggest concern is that they're going to go ahead and approve this one for the United States as well.
Now, a little later in the show, we're actually going to talk about the first batch of swine flu virus vaccines are heading out to Kansas. What do you have to say about those vaccines? They say they're going to give them to people between the ages of 2 and 49.
Well, I believe they're all an experiment. There's no long-term safety studies. These things were rushed through so quickly. And I even have read articles where they say the first 100 pregnant women are being tested. Before we even look at the results of those tests, we're telling all the pregnant women to get the vaccination. I think it's way too quick. I think we're going to have children very injured from these vaccines. Again, the first time in history where we're recommending 2 regular flu shots and then the swine flu vaccine. I'm very concerned about the unborn children. Last night I heard on a news report that there's no proof that this can affect the unborn child in a pregnant woman. Come on.
That's very
We all know better. I'm amazed that the media is just saying things like this, and you wonder where are they getting these studies from, or who's telling them to say this? I mean, you cannot inject into a mother something who's pregnant and not have it affect the child. It just doesn't work that way.
Now, if somebody's interested in learning more about vaccinations and how to live a healthy life, how can they get into contact with you?
Well, my website is childhoodshots.com, and as you can see, if you go to my speaking agenda, I'm going to be speaking all over the country and in Canada I've been very busy every weekend gone. So parents, please go online, look at where I'm speaking, call friends and family, let them know that they can come and get the full information on the dangers of childhood vaccines.
Well, thanks for joining us, Mary. We appreciate it,
My
and we
pleasure.
appreciate your knowledge.
Thank you.
Jeannie will be back after the break to talk to Mary's daughter, Dr. Renee Tocco, who's also an advocate for healthy living. Live in Low Country Early Edition will be right back after the break, so stick around.